third speaker for the day, all right, we have Mr. Anand, who is the Vice President of Technology, Innovation, Incubator Advisory from India. Now, Mr. Anand has decades of experience working as the Chief Architect, Research Analyst, Consultant, the Project Manager, as well as the Design Analyst.
My name is Anand. I represent Innovation Incubator, a company in the southern part of India. We are a company who enjoy building startups. This is pretty much of what we do. We will help the entrepreneur ideate, we will give them technological solution, and we will get the entrepreneur get in touch with the investors and the partners, and we will develop the product using our domain expertise and technology expertise, and we will handhold them all through the product launch, including marketing. So this is what we do. Last 5 years, we have developed around 20 startups. So from the experience of building around 20 startups, what we have seen is like we worked in a multiple of domains. I mean, technology domains and business domains as well. So what we found is we worked in state-of-the-art technologies. I mean, be it AI, ML, IoT, blockchain, application development, and AR, VR, everything. But what we found is that in most of the businesses, AI is something which is common. It has solutions to all the business. I mean, be it any domain, AI is an inevitable part in any of the ideation, in any of the use case. This is what we found. So that is a reason why I selected this topic, multi-domain potential of AI. That means how AI can influence your business, be it any domain. That is what we are going to look in the coming slides. The domains of AI influence. I have listed out a couple of domains on the right-hand side. This is not an exhaustive list. The list goes on, but I will just take some sample use cases for you to think upon, and I will leave it to your imagination as to how we can use it further. So the first domain of the day, administration. In administration, inclusive governance is something that every government wants to do. Disabled population accounts for around 2 to 3% of any population, be it any country. So this is what New York University students have done. They have used AI to convert text as well as audio into sign language, and from sign language they will convert to text and audio as well. AI in banking. So it's a real use case which overseas Chinese bank in Singapore has used to give home loans, home renovation loans using a chatbot. So the chatbot name is Emma. What they found is that after deploying Emma, the business has increased 10%. Actually, we in Incubator has also developed something called Hola, a chatbot which can cater to financial domain, which has trained in multiple financial terminologies, including loan. So this way we can automate customers' query, we can give personalized suggestions, and we can pretty much get the details of the customer and give suggestions as to how much he can borrow based on his credit score and whatever. Similarly, the administrative task in education is repetitive, mostly mundane task. The MCQ, the multiple choice questions can be automatically graded using an online test software, using AI. I mean, you can just do it in a physical sheet of paper, the MCQs, take a scan of it, and the AI will be able to understand whether it is right or not using computer vision and AI, and it can evaluate the student. So we in our company also have developed something similar in the insurance domain. We have developed a system wherein we will understand the insurance format. Like insurance company has hundreds of formats, so AI will understand which format it is and which field corresponds to what number. I mean, it's okay whichever format it is, it's okay whichever alignment it is. The AI model will naturally understand and identify the corresponding fields and values just like a human does. The next domain, and interesting one, it's an automotive sector. A short video I'm gonna show you is from what we have done, driver behavior detection. So we have developed, we have a startup company called Ravitswan. So we are actually developing something which will identify the location of the vehicle, and also it will give suggestions as to whether the driver is behaving rightly or not. There is a dash cam inside the car, and evaluating the images from the dash cam. It will identify the driver. So the dash cam is able to see the driver. It is identifying the face of the driver. And here it is saying the action is calling. The driver is calling someone, which is a dangerous activity. So it will alert the user, it will alert the driver, and it will alert the central system. Let's imagine it's a fleet management system. So there can be multiple of trucks or multiple of cars deployed, and there will be multiple drivers. So in the central system, which will monitor all the fleet vehicles, it will get a warning as to this person is doing some dangerous activity. Like here you have seen, he is looking away now. And earlier you have seen the guy was talking over phone. So these actions are dangerous. It can give real-time alert to the user. So moving on to the next use case in automotive sector itself, self-driving car on Indian roads. So this is one POC that I have done. So what I have done is I have developed an AI model to predict the steering angle. I mean, it will have a camera installed on the windshield. I will just play the video. So before that, I will give a quick intro. It will just get the video from the camera installed in front of the car, and it will predict the steering angle, the gear, the brake, and the clutch as well. Next use case, agriculture, a very interesting domain. Agriculture is actually a mainstay of any developing economy. So agriculture is also a domain where a lot of disguised unemployment is there. So that is one area where we can automate things, we can introduce technology, and we can make it more productive as well, especially in the developing world. So here I talk about a method wherein we will use AI. We can use AI to measure the crop quality and also to weigh the yield as well. So using computer vision, the images of the seed can be analyzed, and using those features, the AI will understand the quality of the crop. It will grade the crop based on quality, and AI will give a suggestion. It will give a recommendation as in which seed is better for which location or which climatic condition. So we have developed a model ourselves, the seed classification model using AI. This is one application that we have developed, a product called Drona, wherein we take X-ray images and we will understand using computer vision and deep learning image segmentation methods. We understand what are the possible diseases that this person is having and can have. It can predict the disease as well. So there is a similar study that is going on for COVID patients as well. Anyway, I'm moving on to the next domain, environment. So here I talk about something called deforestation, a project deployed in Amazon forest in Latin America. So the project is called Rainforest Connection. They used cell phones, solar powered cell phones. They deployed it all across the forest, and it will detect sounds of illegal logging. So based on the sounds, AI model deployed in the mobile phone can identify whether the sound is a sign of illegal deforestation. Right. So in this use case, you have seen that AI is able to take audio as input. Earlier, we have seen AI taking image as input, and AI can take text also as input. So it can take a variety of sources, be it text, video, audio, everything, and it can suggest, it can predict, it can decide, and it can do a variety of actions to support your business. The next domain, safety. Drone technology is a common one, but we can combine drone technology with AI model and computer vision to do many interesting things. Where humans cannot go, it can do some military operations, surveillance operations, and all. We can go through the boundary and check whether there is any incursions happening, let's say. Even in the COVID scenario, actually, we have developed a model to calculate the social distancing. We will calculate the distance between people. So if this model is deployed in a drone, it can fly above the ground, and then it will understand whether people are following social distance. If not, it can intimate, notify, or it can beep alarm as well. Instead of writing generic articles and forwarding it to a general public, it is always good to give the right information to the right person, right? So that is what AI can do. AI can be used in automobiles, as you have seen earlier, in self-driving car and the behavior detection, but it can be used in a variety of ways. For instance, we have developed something called Scratch.ai, wherein we use a model to understand whether there is any scratch in the car using the video of a car, and it will detect the scratch, and it will notify that it has to be repaired. There are many use cases in automobiles as well. AI can be used in gaming technology as well. When you combine AR, augmented reality, with AI, we can make very interesting games. We in Innovation Incubator have developed something called VR World, which is used for police training. An AI model is used for training the police. So the AI model will understand the pose, the human pose, and give points to whether the pose of the police is right while holding the gun. A very interesting use case of AI is in marketing. It's always better to do targeted advertisement. So AI can be used to optimize the whole marketing activity, be it channel, be it gender, be it, a particular ad has to be given to a particular age group, a particular gender, a particular location, right? So, and via particular channels. So all these parameters can be predicted by AI. Let's say you give the AI system a budget. Okay, I have a budget of $1,000. How should I do advertisement to get maximum returns? The AI can say that these are the channels that you need to use, and these are the population that you need to focus. So we have developed a system in our company called Mark.ai, which will give all these suggestions as to what gender, what channel, and everything that we need to focus upon. So this use case is actually useful for any business, because any business needs marketing, right? So here I come to the conclusion of my presentation. I would like to give a concluding thought on this. I will just touch upon a very simple use case. That is, let's say you have a retail business store. In retail business store, how do you improve your business in a retail business store using AI? It's a very simple use case. So what you can do is, okay, you have a retail business, you have a client group also, let's say 100 customers are there. The AI can suggest the right products for the customer. So getting that recommendation will improve the chances of him buying, right? Similarly, AI can be used in inventory management. Let's say during winter, you need to stock winter clothes. I'm just giving an example. Or your customer is focused on particular type of brand. So those things can be identified by AI, and AI can give a suggestion as to, okay, you need to stock up these things. Or let's say your customer is interested in particular brands. So these brands will be suggested. Similarly, AI can be used to build trust, because if a customer has complained, it has to be addressed. So AI can be used to give automated response, automated complaint resolutions and all in retail market as well. Similarly, it can be used to do a variety of experiments, like the pricing. Which is the right price for a particular product? The AI can recommend the right price. If it is above a particular price, it may not be enticing for the user. The optimal location of the product also can be predicted. Let's say you have a camera in your retail store. The camera can analyze that, okay, there is a lot of activity in this particular rack. So we can keep more products in that rack so that the chance of them selling off is more. It can suggest an expensive item, but a very attractive item being placed on the entry point, which will increase the chance of them selling off. So AI can give all such suggestions. It will enable the store guy to do such experiments and get a real-time feedback, right? So my point is, be it any business, whatever business you do, AI can be used to optimize your business and better your profit margins. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Anand, for your informative session. I particularly like that last use case which you actually shared with us, all right? And it's especially useful, particularly for those of us who are operating retail outlets. I myself didn't even know there's so many ways AI can be deployed for retail stores. So isn't that amazing? That will definitely help a lot of retailers in order to stay competitive, particularly in the space where e-commerce is actually taking a big chunk of their current business. Now, let's move on to the question and answer session. All right, there's a question here. It says that in a soon-to-be post-COVID-19 world, so in your opinion, what are some of the industries which are critically in need to implement AI technology in order to stay competitive and relevant? What's your take on this?
In administration, as I told you, that we can use AI to monitor the problems, right? I mean, if there is someone who is not following guidelines, it can be monitored using AI.
Right.
Similarly, there are various things that government is doing for helping the people. So there you can actually use AI to check whether it is reaching the right people, because in COVID scenario there are a lot of poor people who are especially in the developing world, who need support. So we can check whether they are actually getting the benefit or not. Similarly, for developing medicines, you can increase the speed of developing medicines. We have to develop a medicine for it as soon as possible. And I just talked about the X-rays, the product that we have developed, Trona, which can get the medical images and predict whether this person has a chance of developing COVID in future. So there's a lot of use case in healthcare industry as well to do predictions of, based on, so even for asymptomatic cases, you can get from the lab report the values and images. The AI can predict whether this guy, the early detection is the actual cure.
Wow, that is absolutely excellent. Now, let me read out a couple of questions that's coming from our Facebook audience.
Sure.
Okay. The first question, Ms. Ava Dobriva is asking, to what extent do you think we can trust self-driving cars, especially in more complicated situations like crossroads and more crowded places? What do you think?
Okay. See, as you know, the self-driving car is currently a research topic. There are different levels of autonomy. Right. Level 1 is a very basic autonomy. The one I showed you is maybe like level 2 or 3. Most of the many of the companies working in this domain has only level 3 autonomy, right? So it has to be deployed in a very cautious way. Only in case of level 5 autonomy, which we humans haven't achieved so far, right? Only when you achieve that point, we can deploy it to a real world scenario, having cross joins and all the complicated networks that Indian kind of countries might have. But having said that, it's a practical use case that we can deploy in a restricted environment. Let's say a campus, right? A big campus where the traffic is controlled. Let's say inside airlines, the cargo movement can be fully automated because the pathways are predicted, right? It is already mapped. If there is a map already in place, and if there are less dynamic variables, like there is no pedestrian crossing and all that stuff, then a self-driving mechanism can do wonders. So these kind of deployments in restricted environments is already possible using self-driving car, but we are on the way of achieving level 5 autonomy, which may take probably 5 years or 10 years down the line. We will be able to see a fully functional AI model which can handle everything using multiple sensors and stuff.
Wow, that is certainly very impressive. Wow, isn't it?